This is Machine Learning Project 1. First, I'm going to talk about the data pre-processing that we did. So I'm going to run our preprocessor right here. See the output. The first thing that we have to do is read in the file. For this, we're doing breast cancer data. It reads it into a data set, and that holds a list of classes and then a list of data records, which represents the rows right here. So once we've read in the data, we have to do our imputation for breast cancer, and that's because some of the values are missing. We do our imputation based on conditional probabilities of each attribute value for each class. You can see missing values right here, and then you can see what it was replaced with right here. So this is for class 2, and then this is for class 4. So once we've done our imputation, we need to shuffle our data set, and the reason that we do that is so that the tenfold cross-validation will find randomly distributed class values throughout the 10 folds. Once we shuffled it, we write that to a file, and that will be used as the unaltered data in our experiment. Then we scramble 10% of the features to use as our scrambled data in our experiment. So you can see the index that is scrambled right here. And if you compare this to the original data, it'll be different. Well, actually to the shuffle data right here. Then we're done with breast cancer, so we're going to move on to iris, which does discretizing. So we have to do discretizing to make sure that it's a valid input for our algorithm. For iris, we do it into 4 bins, and so you can see that this is the original data, and then this is the data that was divided up into 4 bins. Then we do the same thing. We shuffle the data, write it to a file, and then scramble it. And then we do the same thing for the rest of the data sets if they need to be discretized or imputized. Once we have our pre-processed data stored into files, we can run our algorithm with our runner class. This will do 10-fold cross-validation, which will train 10 models on each data set. Then it computes a series of loss functions, which is stored into a file to be examined later. Here we have the breast cancer data set. And here we have training our first model. So the model consists of the probabilities of each class and then the probabilities for each attribute value in each attribute for that class. So for example, this is the probability for class 2, which is 65%, and then for the first attribute, which is this row right here, the attribute value of 1 has a 30.1% chance. And then it does this for every class, so class 4 has 35%. Once we have trained a model on 90% of the data, then we test it by classifying the other 10%. So we do this 10 times for each fold, but the rest of the models are not shown here to preserve space. After we have classified the data, we run our series of loss functions on the predicted classes versus the actual classes. The loss function results, as you can see here, are stored into a file for later viewing. And we do this for both the unscrambled data, which you can see processed is unscrambled breast cancer, and then we have the scrambled breast cancer data.